Uh, a lot happened. A lot happened. Fucking Elon Musk moved to buy Twitter for approximately 45 billion dollars. Bought the whole company outright. We're definitely going to follow up on that, especially since I was covering the whole lead up to this where he was, first buying. Hey, before we get any further in the video, I just wanted to take a moment and ask that you like the video and subscribe already if you haven't, as it really is one of the best ways you can help the channel out. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and join us in the chat, and follow me on TikTok for more random content and clips. Links in the description. That's all. Thanks for your time. Back to the video. What was it, 9% of the stock? And then there was a question of would he join the board. At first he said he had no interest in the board. Then they offer the board position with the contingency that he cannot purchase the majority shares and is barred from purchasing 12 to 15% more than that. And shortly after that, it seemed like they were welcoming him to the board with open arms. And then he decided not to join the board, which kind of gave the idea to everyone, oh man, is he prepping for a hostile takeover? And here we are about a little over a week later, and the takeover was hostile. he bought the whole fucking company. And now there's lots of talks, will he bring Trump back, other banned accounts? What does this mean for the platform as a whole? Some people are celebrating, some people find it pretty appalling. Personally, I think it's pretty alarming. We've gone from a board of people overseeing Twitter and attempting to define free speech as a group to predominantly one person's definition of freedom of speech. Not to mention, I don't know, Elon has his fair share of what's the word I'm looking for? Con man activity. But now I'm gonna follow up on this Elon Musk buying Twitter, because I gotta know. I gotta see. Here's what he says he'll do next. Yeah, this is the big talking point he keeps saying. Loosen up context rules in the name of free speech. Yeah, he keeps saying this. This whole Elon's whole thing around buying Twitter and everyone's argument for him, which stop doing that. Don't fucking argue for Elon. Fuck Elon. All right, stop defending billionaires at all. Let alone Elon. He's a con man. But he grew up rich. His family owned emerald mines in Africa. Okay. He has not invented really anything that he's been a part of. He just separates the original founders of the company from the company he purchases. He's a capitalist and an investor. Arguably a smart-ish one, but not the genius he sells himself to be. He constantly oversells and underdelivers, which just overinflates his stock prices, and he sells them he's just pump and dumping all over. It's so fucking transparent. But regardless, Elon Musk is everyone's framing it to be this he's a champion of free speech, right? But I was kind of saying earlier, instead of this being a board of people now overseeing Twitter, trying to have a discussion openly and, an open debate on what falls under free speech, what does not fall under free speech, which, by the way, the government's also doing. That's a conversation that will probably happen forever. Everything is circumstantial, case by case. We will never have a big rule book that says this phrase, okay, this phrase, not okay. That doesn't exist. It won't exist. And if you're waiting for that day, you're never going to get there. And I'm sorry, you're just always going to be mad. But everything's case by case. So instead of a board of people, we now have one person's idea predominantly defining free speech. Possibly a board. I mean, this is assuming he maintains the board, doesn't just completely fire everyone, including the CEO, and put in his own people who kind of fall in line. But regardless, we can safely assume it's predominantly going to be defined by him or his libertarian idealistic ways. So not great already. All right, we're starting there. Past that, it's a private website. It always was. And now even more so. It's more private now than it ever was. Because it's mostly owned, if not entirely owned, by one person as opposed to multiple people, right? So I don't know. Like, I really don't understand how people aren't perceiving this as the threat to the town hall or the town meeting, whatever the fuck he calls it, that it is. And obviously you don't have to use Twitter. Obviously you could be like Trump and use whatever the fuck that is, like Truth Bomb or whatever the fuck he calls it. The thing that no one uses, that he's only used once. But I don't know. It's out fucking rageous to me to think that people are like, yes, Elon's gonna save us with free speech. Elon, his company is like, I was talking about that a while back on stream. Like, actually, when I was first covering this, all his fines with OSHA, like all the fucking, I mean, like the Emerald thing, like he keeps specific things that you would think would be extremely well known or easy to find pretty quiet. That's not on accident. There's a reason why some of those things are known by a lot of people and some things aren't. But at the same time, so much crap about him and his companies is common knowledge nowadays because he's such a big name. So why wouldn't you think all the negative stuff would also be common knowledge? Why is it just the positive? I wonder if money is influence. So, like, I fucking hate this idea that, like, he's gonna save us with free speech. He doesn't give a fuck about free speech. He cares about influence and money and a path to more influence and money. And that's what purchasing Twitter is. A giant grab for influence and a path to more money via selling possible shares or maintaining the influence. Both. It's like so transparent. It's not even fucking. Describes himself as a free speech absolutist. Cool. And has criticized the way he sees success as moderation on the online platforms. Yeah, also, like, the CEO was celebrating that they sold to Elon. I don't know if that dude realizes that Elon's, like, been critical of the board's decisions and his, like, commenting on things, like, for a while now. I don't know if he's, like, paid attention to Elon's Twitter, which is weird. That guy might want to worry about his job. I don't know. Maybe they've talked behind the scenes and everything's cool, but, like, I do not imagine him being the CEO much longer. He nodded to those beliefs in a statement. I'm heard just by saying that free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square. There it is, where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. Are debated? Oh God, debating doesn't fucking matter. Like, also people like, digital town square. Like, this is where democracy happens. Yes and no. Yes, it's where actual citizens in a democracy, as well as all over the world, have an ongoing conversation about anything and everything. So it's like almost usually always not productive or meaningful. So, boom. 2, just because individuals who happen to work for the government also utilize the private website of Twitter does not mean that a single thing that happens on Twitter has any sort of bearing on what actually takes place in any sort of government body, i.e. the Senate, when they vote. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about what we think. They don't give a fuck about the majority. You know how I know that's true? Because there are plenty of topics, plenty of opinions where, like, the majority of the country is set stone clear. The majority of the country doesn't give a fuck about medical marijuana, and I believe even 60% at least of the population doesn't care about recreational. Guess what? Still legal federally. So if they really cared, that would be legal. Free healthcare, predominantly supported. If you look at, like, the raw numbers of people, percentages, it is supported. Don't have it. Guess why? Because they don't care. What else? Higher tax rates on the rich. Most people agree for that. Kind of weird when you think about it, huh? Because we're mostly poor. Weird. But that doesn't happen because, yep, you guessed it, they don't care. So that's dumb. That's a dumb argument. Like, nothing that happens on Twitter actually changes laws, and it's ridiculous to think that it does. Why would some rando's tweet or some rando's response to anything that, like, any representative or senator tweets, they don't even fucking care, dude. It's just W's and L's on Twitter. Like, just like, hell yeah, this person is, like, supporting me, retweet that. That makes me look more likable to my constituents. Like, it's just posing. Musk has argued that social networks should not remove comments that, while offensive, are still legal. During a recent interview at a TED conference, he said, if it's a gray area, let the tweet exist. Yeah, I heard about that. That's problematic as fuck, though. That's problematic as fuck, though. Because he's already not treating it circumstantial. Things are circumstantial, but he's just saying, like, he's already getting less case by case with it. You know, like if it hits me as a gray area right off the bat, I'm gonna just let it stay. That's a horrible policy. Because what if you aren't like educated enough? What if the board isn't aware of why something is specifically bad? Does the gray area move over time? Does it change over time? How does that work? Like, can you quantify that at all? That doesn't actually. You're not saying anything, really. But people are like, oh yeah, this is our savior, hell yeah. Like, I don't fucking get it. Twitter currently bans harassment, abuse posts that wish physical harm to someone. What a horrible thing. Oh, Twitter. Oh, no. Why won't you let me talk? Platform has other guardrails too, like prohibition on misinformation related to COVID-19. Yeah, again, not seeing the issue. Experts who, obviously there's more and there have been dumb reasons, but like the intention behind their policies is very practical and pretty standard. I really don't understand what the criticizing is all about. Experts who study social networks fret about Musk's push to loosen the rules of engagement on Twitter, say that could give license to harassers, trolls, and others who abuse the platform, target people. Obviously, create an edit button so users can change their tweets. Yeah, but his like whole thing around this was like if you pay for Twitter Blue or whatever. So he's planning on selling that as a service. So not that great. And even, I mean, like, I'm not gonna like high five this dude and praise him for adding an edit button like 10 years too late to a website. Obviously, like, I don't know. Most websites and social media nowadays don't have an edit button. Like TikTok, fucking. I don't know if Instagram does it, might, but it's lame. It's lame. Like, add an edit button. Why can't I edit my shit? You never heard of a typo? Fuck you. Opens up Twitter algorithm to the public. That does interest me a little, but only a little, because I don't really give a shit about Twitter's algorithm. I'm not trying to blow up on Twitter. I don't know anyone that really is trying to blow up on Twitter. Twitter's mostly for like people who are already aware of you getting updated. That's what I feel like. It's not really about new exposure, but I guess it depends on what you are doing and what field you're in. Launch a war on bot armies. Okay, cool. I mean, I just don't know if that's okay. Scrap advertisements. That'd be great. And a big unknown. Reinstate Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't know. I think he said he wasn't intending to. Trump called Musk a good man, saying he was pleased with the billionaire's acquisition, but Trump said he has no plans to try to turn Twitter. True Social, that's what it's called. At all meeting on Monday afternoon, Twitter employees asked CEO Parag whether Trump would be reinstalled. Said that was a question for Musk. Once the deal closes, we don't know which direction the platform will go. Okay. What else we got? Oh, wow. Cool. Guess I won't read that. Twitter accepts Elon Musk buyout. How much was it? $54.20 per share. Best and final. $43 billion. Yeah, wow, it's like spot on. $43 billion. Margin loan financing. First quarter 22 earnings results. Wants to change it. Twitter. Give me that list. Tweet content moderation. Yeah, that's what he was talking about with those. Okay, given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square. Jesus Christ, he just won't stop saying that. Like, just like, check out my cool phrase. I coined this phrase. Aren't I so cool? Fucking memer. Failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. What should be done? Twitter is not a country. Twitter is a website used by people all over the world. So Twitter shouldn't be threatening democracy. The only time it did threaten democracy was when Trump was tweeting unhinged shit that almost started wars. And then Twitter took the steps to prevent the website from threatening a democracy. But that was almost causing international conflicts. Someone not being able to tweet hate speech does not undermine a democracy. Like, give me one example in which case, one example in which we've undermined a democracy currently. Are you talking about the banning of Trump? And shit like that? Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? Who the fuck said Twitter was a champion of free speech? Combat cryptocurrency scams? That'd be great. I just have a hard time believing that. But I agree. NFT profile pictures are fucking awful. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of NFT accounts on Twitter. I'm really fucking over it. Constantly scrubbing them. Do you want an edit button? This was such an easy question. Like, what? Open Twitter's algorithm. The choice of which algorithm to use or not should be open to everyone. Which algorithm? Elon Musk talks Twitter. Oh, fuck. I'm about to watch an hour of this asshole. That is how the world works. That is how the world works. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitch to join us live. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.